This is Tailgate Talk, presented by Tarpon Blue.
Let's take a ride. In this series, we're going to show you everything Texas and its surrounding southern states has to offer, right here from our very own tailgate.
We'll take you from life on the farm and the ranch to the big city lights. This is Tailgate Talk. Come along for the ride. Hi, I'm Katie Abermite, and welcome to this week's episode of Tailgate Talk. Today, we're in downtown Seguin with Ernest Servantes at Burnt Bean Barbecue. Ernest, why don't you tell us a little bit about Burnt Bean? I'm sure a lot of our viewers have already heard about you. You've been quite the talk of the town. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your business?
Well, the Burnt Bean Company has been around for about a year and a half already. Could have been a little bit longer, but due to COVID, we couldn't open, so which is a blessing. But we've been here a year and a half at Seguin, but we were a competition barbecue team for the past 13 years before we decided to cross over and open our own restaurant. We've came to Seguin, we've loved Seguin, and we've had a lot of fun in Seguin.
All right, great. What are some of your signature dishes?
Well, the standard, the Trinity, which is our brisket, ribs, and then we make all our sausage in-house. And then we're also known for our Sunday brunch, which includes our world-famous brisket wet with rancheros.
Okay, what inspires your take on the Sunday brunch? I know it's been kind of the talk of the town again. Like I say, I hear about it all of the time. I know it's a little bit of a twist on.
Yeah, so basically, me being a chef, I wanted one day that I could really spread my wings and be creative. And, doing a barbecue joint, you have to keep with what people want. But there's one day a week, and it's Sundays, and I really spread my wings. And I really wanted you to experience what you would have at my house. So, this is what you have on Sundays. If you are at my house, you hear the music, you have the different types of South Texas cuisine, and it just really kind of brings it in home. The smells are great, the experience is great. And you get that mood here on Sundays, which is what makes it really
bring
special.
Your customers into your kitchen.
Yeah, it makes everybody special, and it's like, man, it's a really cool. And people sometimes think, man, I can't believe this is a barbecue joint. But on Sundays, we kind of go a little crazy and do our own thing.
Well, that's really great. What is the story behind the name Burnt Bean?
Okay, so the Burnt Bean got created. I was working at a restaurant about 15 years ago, and I asked for the day off, and because my neighbors love my barbecue, so they're like, dude, I'm going to enter you in this cook-off, and I was like, I don't even have a name, and I asked for the weekend off, and one of the ladies said, what do you need the weekend off for? I'm like, well, I'm going to do this cook-off, and it's barbecue, and they're like, what are you going to be cooking? And it's like, I said, I think it's like brisket, ribs, chicken, and beans, and I'm like, do you know how to cook beans? I'm like, no. He's like, you're probably going to burn them, and I'm like, So that's how the Burnt Bean came around.
Well, that's really great. So has your barbecue competition name always been?
It's always been the Burnt Bean Company. A lot of people it's funny because when we started opening this place and we started putting the signs out, the Burnt Bean, that we had so many different coffee makers and coffee machines that were trying to sell us espresso and cappuccino machines because they thought we were actually a coffee shop, which is a great name if you really think about it. So, so we're not a coffee company, we're a barbecue company.
How has having a storefront been different for you than competition barbecue?
Well, it's day and night, competition, you cook for one day and you leave and you only deal with 6 judges. Here, we deal with hundreds of judges, critiquing our food, especially barbecue. I think that's one of the most critiqued food because everybody in Texas takes pride in their moms or their dads or their grandfather's barbecue, and they're like, well, let me try theirs. So you always have to be at the top of your game, especially when it comes to barbecue.
Ernest, do you feel constant pressure to come up with new dishes or new?
Yeah, a lot of people ask me, how do you keep up with the times and not become complacent? How do you become one of the premier top barbecue joints in Texas? And you always have to set the bar trend up. Yes. I think you have to keep elevating the bar trend because when someone becomes successful, they become complacent. And here we always want to be the innovators, not the duplicators, as we say here. So we're always coming up with unique, fun items that we do here at the Burnt Bean when it comes to our food. It not necessarily has to be smoked, but it's just something that really brings in the crowd because everybody's might be tired of eating brisket or ribs, and they're like, what's something new? And we come up with some really killer sandwiches or dishes, and that's how we keep up with the trends. Is you have to be ahead of everybody else.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit what it's like? Tell us about what it's like to come in to the Burnt Bean any day of the week. What are your hours like right now? And then, what is an experience that people should expect?
We're open only Thursday through Sunday. Usually it's from 11 to 3, and then on Sundays we open up at 8 in the morning. And we actually have brisket ribs, turkey, and sausage ready to go at 8. So you want to come and get breakfast first and then take it out. That's a little FYI, because at 10 o'clock and 9 o'clock on the weekends, we start getting lines. And by the time we open the doors, it's usually about 2 blocks long lines. But on Sundays, the little trick I tell the locals is if you get here early, there's not really a line, because the line is not as far, because we're already turning them.
Right.
So, you come in, get here early. We only do as much as we can on the barbecue. We have 2 huge pits, and they're always locked and loaded. We do over 600 pounds of meat, sometimes 700-800 pounds, depending on the day of the week. So we have a lot of food, but we cannot, and this is the one thing I tell people, is we cannot predict what the person's going to order. Some people might order, a sandwich, or someone might order a plate, and then the next guy goes and buys $1,200 in barbecue.
Yes.
So we cannot predict what they have, but at the same time, we want to sell. So we'll sell to anybody. So we always say, get here early or show up late and lose weight. So, that's one of our sayings that my friend John Brotherton always says, is that, we're a barbecue joint that we only serve at lunch. We take pride in having fresh products, so we never have anything that we reheat the next day. And that's what sets us apart from everybody else.
Okay. And for people that want to know if you have any specials for the day, I know like during the winter y'all had some great soup. I had some of your chicken and dumplings. It was amazing. Anyway, for those people that want to know about specials that you might have on the daily, do you post those on social media?
Yeah,
or how do you go
so
about that?
every day about 7 o'clock we post what the specials are. Usually our Thursday and Friday specials are the same ones, our standards. So Thursdays are pork steak, Fridays are Tijuana chicken. But in between that, if I feel froggy or if I feel fun, I always post something. So right around 7 o'clock on our Burnt Bean page on Facebook or Instagram, we will post what's the special for the day, or what we're doing fun, or what we're doing during that week. I know we just finished our soup run. Now we're actually going to go into our summer menu and our spring menu, which is going to include pasta salads and salads too. So it makes it nice and fresh and not so heavy like our chicken and dumplings, like you said, our chicken tortilla soup or anything like that. So we're going lighter, more fresh, because it's getting hotter, and people want barbecue, but they want more of a lighter side than something heavy.
Okay. Ernest, what is one of your favorite things to eat on your menu?
Oh, one of my favorite things, well, it's, believe it or not, it's actually not even the proteins. My favorite is I get a scoop of our corn pudding and our beans. It's like so good. It's one of those things that just comfort food. And usually when everybody's eating after our meal or our lunch rush, I always get just a scoop of that and some beans. And I guess because it has chopped brisket in and everything, it's really good.
Y'all also offer catering here.
Right. Yeah, we just got voted the best caterer in town. And people got to realize too, not only we're a barbecue joint, but I'm a certified chef, so we do other things in barbecue. So from tables from eight people to 800, we can accommodate for anybody, and we can do any kind of menu you like. You just give me ideas, I can create menus. We can do course meals, we can do buffets, we can do sit down meals. So it doesn't matter, whatever you like, I'm here and we can make it happen.
All right, well that's great. Thank you so much for visiting.
Thank you for coming
today.
to the Burnt Bean.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for tuning in today, and thank you to our guests for sharing their story.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you next time on Tailgate Talk.
We'll tell you things you might not know. Just stay a while, we'll make you feel at home at the tailgate.